Welcome to Young Achiever Show on Ghana News Guide with me, Michaela Ade. Today we have another young achiever with us. If you want to get updates from our previous episodes, go to Ghana News Guide YouTube channel. Our young achiever is an expert in AI robotics, the CEO of INVOTECH STEM Center, and an innovator. His name is Mr. Jonathan Kennedy Sowah. Mr. Sowah, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thanks for making time to be here today.
Thank you.
What led you to go into tech, precisely AI and robotics?
So I never imagined I would be there. I never saw myself there. Growing up, I wanted to be a neurosurgeon. So while going to school, I wanted to do the science with biology to become a neurosurgeon.
Mm-hmm.
But then my faith changed in senior high school. Mm-hmm. I was given a geography class instead of a biology class. Wow. So that was where everything changed. And then because I had like the previous interaction with computers, I had that lab there. Mm-hmm. So the computer lab was like my solace. That was where I go to kind of cry, because I literally fasted and prayed for my course to be changed.
Wow.
But it never happened. So that was where I realized that we were doing computer science or computing ICT in school, but then it wasn't treated as like a good topic. It was treated as an extracurricular activity. So we do it in our first year, but in our second and third year, we don't do it at all. And knowing where the economy is going, knowing where the world is going, everything is becoming dependent on computing. So we started a club over there to introduce the younger students and then our colleagues also into computing. Okay. That was where everything started.
Wow, that's very profound. As one of the participants for this year's Ghana Tech Summit that I attended, I heard you mention that you had to work at a cafe. Yeah. You had to access the internet. Can you tell us about that story?
That was before I went to senior high school. That was in my basic education stage. I was going to a public school, Tertiary Anglican Basic School to be precise, and then we were being taught ICT. But then everything was on a blackboard. We don't have a computer over there to touch, to feel, to experience. And then a friend introduced me to the internet cafe, And then I went there. When I went, I fell in love with the computers. So after falling in love, I noticed that, if we are being taught this in the school and we don't have access to this, then I'm not going to that school anymore. So that was why I decided that I'm going to drop out and go and work at the cafe so that I can, further develop my interest in it. So it was a bold decision, a very stubborn one. I did it anyway. And then I was like really good at school. I was the best student in the school. So everyone was wondering why I dropped out. My grandmother would wake me up in the middle of the night to pray on me, put anointing oil on my head. It was crazy. But then I knew what I wanted, and I went, hard for it. Then I was at the internet cafe one day, and I noticed that I saw an ad of a school. And then I went, okay. So while working there, I had saved some money. So I told my grandmother and my mom that, okay, this is the school I want to go, because they have the infrastructure I needed. So I gave them the money I had saved, and then they went to take admission. So I left, and then later graduated BC, and then went to Labone Senior High School to do my science with biology, and then I got geography. So it has been a life of a lot of struggles. What I wanted, I didn't get, so I had to find ways and means to go get it.
And I see you're also a CEO of a STEM center, INVOTECH.
Yeah.
How did it start?
So I'll have to take you back to Labone Senior High School. When we started the club over there, we were getting some pushbacks from the teachers and then the administration. But then as time went on, we started participating in competitions, MTN Apps Challenge, which like I trained girls and then they won a number of international competitions. So the school started getting some kind of positive publicity over there. So that was where the school decided to focus on us. And then while they were focusing on us, my geography teacher, the subject I didn't like, saw the potential of what I was doing and then gave me a challenge that what do I think about starting this as a business after school? I was really young then, I was like younger than 18. So when he gave me the idea, I went to read a lot about starting a business and the processes involved. But then the challenge was I was really young. I have to be 18 to register. So the trick was I had to use my grandmother to register, and then after getting to 18, I'll now do change of ownership.
That's cool. You also happen to be CNN African Voices Changemaker. How did that start?
So it started when we realized a challenge in our community. I come from a community where it's hard to get things. If you want access to quality education, it's very hard to get it. So when we started Staying for Her outreach, we were moving throughout the country, going to rural areas to let the children over there experience coding, experience robotics, experience these amazing technologies, so that they will know the opportunities out there for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we were just enjoying ourselves, going through the villages. When we are done, we would eat local foods, roam in the bushes and all those things. And then I got a message. Apparently, a journalist in Kenya was trying to reach out to me. So she sent me a message on Facebook, wherever she saw our work. Then I saw it and I was like, okay, let's give it a try. So she wrote the first article about INVOTECH. Then from another journalist from Kenya saw her article and reached out to me. Oh, I'm coming to Ghana, so I would like to have a YouTube, video with you. Good. So she did it and it was out there. Then CNN saw it.
Wow.
So CNN saw it and they later reached out to me. Okay. So it was just, it's like everything is dependent on what happened previously. So CNN saw it, they did it. Then VOA, I've had like multiple features on VOA. So they also saw it and then they also did a feature. And a number of like other, media outlets started reaching out. But at that time I was feeling some kind of, I was burnt out. How do you call it? Yeah. So I was experiencing burnout. So I had to like let go of a number of those things because even though it was good, it was really affecting me because I was rooming and then I wasn't that media type. I was very shy. But then as you go, you get used to some things. I was really shy then, so being in front of the camera, going, people looking at you, it wasn't my thing. My thing was being either in front of kids, teaching them how to build program robots or doing my own things. Yeah.
Apart from access to internet, what do you think are some of the challenges that the students at rural areas have that they are not able to access tech stuff like AI and robotics?
So I wouldn't say rural areas. There are a number of schools in Accra, this urban area, that don't have computers. And it will shock you. Because I keep asking myself, why are we letting these students write the same national examinations with students who have access to these things? You go to some rural areas, there are no computers, they are learning computers. They have to learn everything in the text. But they are competing with students in the city who have laptops, they have mobile phones, they are introduced to a lot of technologies. So that was the reason why we started our outreach, and that was why we're trying to bridge that gap. So that was provide access.
Apart from the internet connectivity in the rural areas, what do you think are some of the challenges that students in the rural areas have in not being able to access robotics and AI content?
Okay, so internet comes in when other components come in.
Okay.
If they don't have a computer or a computer lab, internet is useless, right? So they need infrastructure, they need like dedicated labs in their community. So if like the way we have a library, community library, it can be a community STEM center where they can go, there are computers there, there are robotics kits there, where they can, do things, break things, fix things. So internet comes when a computer comes in. You get it?
Yeah, I get it.
Computer or a tablet.
Do you think in STEM education in Ghana, there's no much attention drawn to it?
I think the government is doing their best to put more light on it. With that one, I applaud them for that. They are building STEM schools. Even though I have some issues with them, because instead of building other schools, there are schools that are already good at STEM. So just give them the infrastructure, give them the materials they need to start it. Instead of building everything from scratch, you get it. Building new schools. There are schools that you can just turn them into a STEM school because they are already good at that.
Okay.
They have the teachers, the students are already good. They come to competition, they are so good at it. So instead of starting everything afresh, just use the ones you have also so that we can reach more students. You get it. But then if you say, okay, right now we have about 4 dedicated STEM schools. Meanwhile, there are normal senior high schools that can have like STEM labs and then to become a fully fledged STEM school. You get it. So that's the challenge I have with them. And I'm sure they will work on it.
So you mentioned STEM labs. What goes into them?
A lot goes into it. A lot. So if you want to have a dedicated STEM lab, you need to have a dedicated space, very spacious space with movable chairs and tables. Because today it can be fixed, the next day everything can be scattered. Right? You need 3D printers, you need laser machines, you need like very high speed internet. You need computers, like high-end computers. Because you can't teach students something and then say you are making them globally competitive if you are using inferior products. You have to like really invest well into it. So those things, those basic stuff.
For your organization, INVOTECH, what makes it stand out than other organizations doing similarly like you are doing?
So I always say that we don't have competitors, but they have a competitor. Because what we do is very unique. But I started it for a non-profit cause because I went through that same challenge, and I want to make sure that bridge, that gap, we fill it. Because I wanted to make sure we bridge that gap. So we do a lot of things. We travel throughout the country every year with our current program. We have the Pirate Girl Summit. We have the Pirate Girl Outreach, where we go to villages and then provide access to like high quality STEM education to girls, not leaving the boys behind though. But then the program's name is Pirate Girl. We also have the Pirate Boy program where we reach out to boys because we can't be bridging the gap and then be creating another gap. So that is what we do. We also have the Innovators Robotics competition. Every year we organize robotics competitions for schools, for students. And then aside that, we also do a lot of mentorship training. We do research work, we do consulting, we provide STEM educational programs for schools and then individuals.
Before we go, are there any projects that you are currently working on that are coming up?
Oh yes, so we have our flagship program, the Pirate Girl Summit.
Okay.
An amazing experience for young girls to get into STEM. We do it every year. This is our 3rd year. And then, so they come around, they meet, women that are into tech, into the STEM ecosystem that are doing amazing stuff. So they come for mentorship, they come for hands-on workshop. It is something that has never been done before. So we do it every year. They come, they are given the opportunity to fix things, to break things, and then to create things.
So that's very cool. And what success story have you recorded?
With the success stories, there are so many, so many.
Mention one.
Oh, I think we have a student called Robert Amuzu. Robert was also my school son in school.
Wow.
So when we started it, he was one of the people I mentored. And now he's doing robotics engineering in Russia.
That's
We have Stephanie Asari. Stephanie is now doing robotics engineering in India. Yes, we have David, the icon. If I start mentioning, we will not even end this conversation because there are lots. And then this is what we keep doing. The success stories, myself, I'm a success story.
Wow.
Because starting this made me learn a lot of new things, puts me on platforms to also empower people.
I hope your grandmother and your parents are happy.
Oh, my grandmother, she's always happy. She's always happy. And then, it has given her a bragging right. Hey, that's my grandson. Whenever she sees me on TV, she becomes so excited. She calls the people around. Hey, and now it's so exciting. And then I kind of feel like she has really struggled with me personally. She has really struggled with me because I was like really stubborn. And then starting at where I dropped out of school, her talking me into going back to school, and then me being so stubborn. She has suffered from my hands. So she deserves it.
How stubborn were you?
Extremely stubborn. Like I was literally the black sheep in the family.
Oh.
Yeah, the black sheep. Every trouble that will come into the family, I'm the one that wins that trouble.
Oh. The story has changed for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
What's one global problem if you were given the chance, you'd like to use AI and robotics to change?
Education.
Why education?
Because education is very important. A country that doesn't have educated people is always behind. If there's an amazing technology, education is what gets the people to use that technology. So if we don't utilize education well, we'll always be left behind. 5G has come, but then even the 4G, we have struggled with it. Why? Because we don't have enough educated people in that ecosystem to really implement projects on that. So a new technology will come, and it will just come. So when there's a project, we have to kind of import talent. Meanwhile, we can be educated on it, and then we will even be exported to other countries to solve problems with them. But we are always doing the importing, which is really bad.
Okay.
And then looking at the current stats, Africa is going to, in 2030, Africa is going to have the largest youth population. That is why I'm glad ALX and Generation Ghana, they are, scaling up our youth. MasterCard Foundation and Co. So yes, education is really important, and that is what we need. Because Africans, we are very resilient. Okay? We are very hardworking, we are very dedicated and committed. So when we are given access to high quality education, we will build doors, we will build barriers.
You mentioned it comes to it that education is one of the global problems you want to solve with AI and robotics. So in your individual efforts, how are you doing to maybe help people in that area inclusively?
Okay, so we use the Pirate Girls Summit as an avenue to reach out to more girls and to bridge the gap to bridge the gender gap and accessing STEM education, AI, robotics. I also do mentorship programs.
Okay.
So I have mentees that I train on how to use AI tools effectively to boost their productivity.
Okay. Before we go, give us more information about the events. Interested persons would like to come. Yeah.
Okay, so we've currently given out some free slots, some open slots. So anyone that is interested can go on Eventbrite.
I'm invited.
Oh yes, you're always invited. So eventbrite.com, and then you can see information. It's strictly by invitation, but I just gave it out so that we open a little slot for the public. It's going to be at the Accra Technical University main auditorium on the 30th November 2024. And it's going to be amazing. We have creative, amazing women doing amazing work in their various spaces that are coming together to mentor these girls and to share their experiences and challenges.
That's very nice. I wish I would ask you plenty questions, but before we close, you can give out your social media handles and your contacts, because what you're doing, it's very, very important, and many would like to reach you.
Okay. So our website is innovatechsc.com.
Okay.
Innovatech with YN, so INOVTECHSC.com. Personally, you can reach out to me on all social media handles with Jonathan K. Sowah. Yeah, and then if you want to reach out to Innovatech, at INVOTECH on all social media handles.
Thank you once again for being on the show. Yeah. We've ended another episode. I want to encourage you to keep following Young Achievers Show on all social media platforms, specifically our YouTube channel, Ghana News Guide. Please subscribe so you don't miss any updates. We are also on LinkedIn as Ghana News Guide YAS. Yeah. So see you another time. Bye-bye.